Okay, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Rume Ogane, and I'm going to be your moderator for today's conference. First of all, I want to welcome each and every one of us, our special facilitators, our guests, and also our participants, our vendors. Thank you so much for honoring this invitation to be part of this conference. I want to say a big thank you to each and every one of you. Now, this is the second edition of our conference. The first one, we had it in March, where we talked a little bit about implementation of agri knowledge as regards to modern times, farming, storage, security, and safety. Now, in this edition, we are going to be looking at agribusiness, how we implement technology in modern times to push agriculture, to push agribusiness forward. So, without further ado, I would like to introduce our chief convener, Mrs. Lolade, to once more deliver an open remark for the conference, and then we will move forward. So, ladies and gentlemen, Mrs. Lolade, the CEO, Ocean Mint UK and Nigeria.
Thank you, Rumi. Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon. And regardless, I don't know where we are, the time we have, but good morning here. And I know good morning in Nigeria, in other places. This is an event that collaboratory with Ocean Mint Consortium UK is presenting. We had, like moderator said, we had the first one back in May. And then from there, the consortium sit down and, moving forward, we need to have another one for the participants to be able to have knowledge of what we are doing. Today's event is organized and collaborated with Wempton, Ede Collective Marketing Services, Alhaji Abubakar. He's the chairman, he's the anchor, he's our mentor in putting this together. And then I would like to appreciate his effort for moving us to this level. I would also like to appreciate Dr. Tony too. He's an agronomist and he is a practicing professional in his field. Also went Ogane, which is Rume, is our PRO. So putting all this together as a consortium, I would like to open the event by asking Alhaji to add to what I've said, because he has more knowledge in this event. Thank you.
Ms. Lolade, Alhaji, up to you now, sir.
Good morning, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This whole event was a fallback of the first one that I participated, and I was highly impressed with the performance and the leadership of Madam Lolade Kamalu, who I call the woman of substance. And then we decided to go ahead to do the second one. The main purpose is to ensure that we spread the gospel. Agriculture means business. And because agriculture means business, agriculture is for development rather than agricultural development. And if agriculture is for development, it has to be based on technology. We cannot continue to do the back-breaking agriculture exposed to the vagaries of the weather if we have to move forward. For that reason, we decided that we will be talking agribusiness today, but centrally on technology and how it can be used from end to end, because we are involved in enhancing agricultural value chain. So having done that, we selected quite a number of erudite, experienced speakers who have gone all over the places, who had seen it all. They have seen it, they performed. Some of them are retired, some of them are on, to come and speak to all of you so that we share ideas and therefore opinions, and then redirect our focus as far as agriculture is concerned, not only in Nigeria, but in Africa. So that is the entire purpose of this event and seminar, for us to interact, for us to share knowledge. We're not to teach anybody anything, but we are sharing knowledge. Everybody has a knowledge, and any knowledge said will increase the intensity of what we have to do. Ours is to ensure that we succeed by all means in creating impact in the Nigerian economy and Africa in general. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much.
sir.
Thank you very much, Alhaji. That was very, very short, very impactful, and very powerful. So, ladies and gentlemen, I will first of all, before we go straight to our first segment of the day, I would like to recognize the presence of the following guest speakers who have made it today. First of all, I would like to say a big welcome to one of our facilitator, Akinwumi Akinloye Kemelu. He is the CEO, Tamtec Akinloye. Thank you very much. This is the second edition. I hope I don't murder people's name this edition. He's the CEO, Tamtec Global Services Limited. And we have Kanu Michael, OE. He is an agro-business consultant and a horticulture expert. We have Ibrahim Magari Amedu. He is the co-founder, livestock27.com. And we have Hajia Aisha Suleiman Bafa. She is the MD CEO, Roda Global Enterprise Limited. And she's also the national president, Women's Farmer Processing Transport and Traders Association of Nigeria.
Are we all muted? This thing is coming back.
And finally, we have Oba Sunday Olushayo Oyilewo JP. He is the Elega of Elega Kingdom. Thank you so much, Your Excellencies, distinguished facilitators. Thank you so much for honoring our invitation. So right about now, we will go straight into our first keynote presentation. In the next couple of minutes. Who's our first speaker? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, now we will take introduce our first keynote speaker for today. He is an agro-business consultant, in sustainable agriculture. He has worked at Avon Specialist Limited after his first degree. With an outstanding experience, teamwork, building, and timely delivery, he rose to a national sales manager. He moved from Benot Harrow Nigeria Limited as a marketing manager. And lastly, with Afrig Nigeria Limited, he now has his own company called Tamtech Global Business Services Limited, a company that is involved in the sales of poultry equipment, energy solution, waste to energy, solar energy. He is experienced in poultry business, management proficiency, certification in entrepreneurial development. He has also attended the Crafield University in England to be trained in anaerobic digester. He is a fellow of the Institute of Marketing, co-convener of the West African Agro Business Show. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Mr. Akinkumi Akinloye.
Yeah, good morning, everybody. And thank you again thank you for that brief introduction. And thank you also for having me here. I also want to thank the convener of this event. It can never be better than now, because if we look at what is happening all around the world, we will discover that agriculture is the new thing. What makes it new thing is not agriculture have never been new, but why did I call it the new thing? It's now the center of the world, because the ever-growing population of the world, which is over 7 billion as we speak right now, needs to be fed on a daily basis. So that leaves us with nothing but for every country to go back to the drawing table and begin to look at how to develop agriculture, how to make agriculture the center of companies and GDP. And going back to Nigeria, where we find ourselves, the technical part of the economy is practically down. If you look at the technical school, you hardly find any one of them that is functioning at the standard of what the world is expected. So that leaves us with going the way of agriculture the best way we know how to do it. So thank you for putting this this together. Is a plus for you. And now going back to the topic of the technology that we are going to be talking about today. Modern technology and agriculture goes together, because when you start with agriculture and you look at the conventional way of doing agriculture, where you use your hoe and your cutlasses to farm, you cannot farm intensively with this conventional old traditional way of doing things. So agriculture itself have revolved into technology that makes the job easier. The major reason for going into agriculture, going into modern technology, could be due to profitability, diversification of your income, and for better output also, and reduce labor, and also pay frame. And I'm going to explain them one after the other. There are so many reasons, but I've just highlighted about 4 of them. For profitability, if you are in agriculture, you want to make sure that you increase output, you increase volume, so that you can increase your cash flow and you can also increase your profitability. What I mean by this is, if you are producing, for instance, let's say 10 mangoes, if you are in the horticultural sector of the agriculture, and you are producing like 10 mangoes, you have 10 mangoes, you want to increase the volume to like 2,000, make more money, do the process efficiently. And in doing that, you want to do your sorting, you want to do your grading. So you want to grade into small, medium, and large, so that you can, depending on the target market. So technology is involved to make things easier for you, because of course, the number of people required by 10 people is not what is required for 2,000 people. And At this time, you will now be thinking of the kind of technology that you need to be able to increase efficiency. It could start from your pre-planting, that's your tillage system, and it could go beyond that into post what happens after your harvest period. So now, it goes diverse. It covers all the aspects of agriculture. Now, if you are in the livestock sector, for instance, and you have your birds in your cages, you want to feed your birds, where you have the way you practice agriculture when you have 5,000 or 10,000 birds is different from when you have like 1 million birds or 800 or 500,000 birds. You will want to automate. You want to reduce the number of people involved for so many reasons. It could be for biosecurity. It could be for any reason or any other reason apart from biosecurity. It could be to reduce pilfering. You now want to make sure that you introduce technology so that you involve people involvement in your activities. You reduce people involvement. Like for instance, you can have your pen house that contains about 50,000 birds, one pen house containing about 50,000 birds. So in that way, you want to integrate. You want to forwardly integrate. You want to make sure that your feed is being served automatically, your water is served automatically, your eggs are collected automatically. So the machine does practically most of these things for you. So you don't have to, you reduce people's number of people involvement. And again, don't forget, our youth are not willing, majority of our youth are not willing to work on the farm like before. Now the teeming youth that used to get involved in our normal manual jobs on the farm are now actively involved in riding Okada. So it is difficult finding people that will work on the farm. So if it's difficult for us to find people that will work with us on the farm, what do? We now need to improvise. So if we are improvising, how do we do? The only way to go is to introduce technology. I have a friend in Jebu who has a 50,000 farm, and it's fully automated. What he's trying to do is he's trying to eliminate human error. He's trying to bring in efficiency. He's trying to bring in effectiveness of the process. So it depends on what you want to achieve. So now let's now go. I don't know if I have the floor. Lolade. Hello.
You have 20 minutes. Yeah, you can go.
Okay, I can go on. Okay, so I will quickly run through some of these things that I will highlight, and then we can discuss on it later. So uses of technology in agriculture. What do we use technology for? I believe I have explained what technology is, and everybody can understand what I mean. You know, because technology, that whatever technology that you want to introduce into agriculture must be encompassing. You must carry the small scale farmers along. And it has been established that Nigeria has 70% or even 80% of small scale farmers, and then 20% of the big ones. So if we have 80% of the small scale farmers, whatever technology you are buying or keying into must encompasses those small scale farmers. And technology involves money. So if technology involves money, that means we are already leaving them behind, because of course you cannot. Somebody that is rearing 100 birds, or somebody that is cultivating on an acre of land, we now have the financial wherewithal to buy internet-driven tractors and machineries. So now, but at their level, we can introduce. Because for me, I've always been an advocate, and that's what I've been doing all my life. Advocate of marrying indigenous technology with foreign technology. I've never liked copy and paste kind of technology, which is what we always try to do in this part of the world. We always like copy and paste. If you want to bring in technology, modern technology into agriculture, I've always advocated that you can get your local fabricators, your local engineers to design some things for you. And it has worked for me. a project we are doing on waste to energy in Onitsha, in Anambra Matushi farm. We try to make sure that we have, at least for a start, we started with 30% local technology. We took the drawing, we took the design, and we gave it to our local fabricator to fabricate for us, so that at least we can begin to encourage them to also be doing, because you see, if you don't engage them at this point, you will always leave them behind in that space. And agri technology, where you have agri engineering aspect of an economy, has to be functional. You have to carry them along. So those agri engineers now have to involve fabricators and get them engaged also. Like Alaji said when he was doing his introductory speech, you see, we are here to not to impose. We are just here to share knowledge. So we can always come together and make sure that we impart as much knowledge into people as we can. So going back into that technology, we try to introduce local tech, and that's what I always tell people. You don't have to go abroad. Like, you can bring in a closed system where you have your birds in closed system, and you can also have them in cage. Once you have overcrowding and the birds are overcrowded in a space, you might not be able to manage ventilation. So you can do something within the ambit of your knowledge. So that's why I always said we don't have to bring in, we don't have to do a copy and paste. Technology can be modified to suit whatever your country's environmental situations are. So that's that on that. Then farm machine. Then we have GPS technology. I don't know if you've heard about GPS technologies that are used to spray, that are used to apply a pesticide and insecticide for general treating of agri produce. If you are talking about GPS technology in where you have autopilot that does your sprayer, your sprinkling for you, if you are going to do this kind of technology, you need a large land holding for you to be involved in this kind of practices. So you don't expect somebody who has an acre to copy someone who has like 100,000 hectares of land to plant. So it all depends. And that's why I will still go back to the fact that you have to be manufacturing or fabricating or managing your indigenous technology with that of foreign technology. You look at the design. Most of these things can be done. Now in Nigeria, a lot of people don't go for, because if you look at the foreign exchange, Naira now goes for 500 Naira to $1. I think pounds is about 700 plus. So if you look at the exchange rates, if you are bringing in technology now, it is very, very expensive. It's not something that can come at a cheap. So if you can't come at a cheap, then you can always go back inward. And that's, hello? And that is what is driving the economy right now. You will find out that the volume of people doing business and the volume of profitability is improving, because those local and indigenous producers are now enjoying, because the level of importation has dropped, and the people within the economy are now beginning to step up to the game. So technology comes at a price, and once we know that technology comes at a price, look, for people doing crop production, don't forget. Are you talking to me?
No, sir. Go ahead, sir. Go ahead, sir. Go ahead,
Yeah.
sir.
For people doing crop production, for instance, if you want to do your crop production effectively, you know what is very important and very key to your operation. Application of pesticide, herbicide, and the rest of it are very important to your operation. And there are a lot of technology in this line that can drive your delivery. Recently you have even it has always been in existence, where you have crop sensor application. You have sensor on your farm that gives you some variables as regarding the soil. So, but in those days, they were being done. The sensor is located on a farm, on a particular spot on the farm. But now you have the sensor at different points on the farm, so it can give you more. This kind of technology can deliver more, can give you more of the factors that you need in your soil. You can determine the soil profile. You can determine a lot of water retention of the soil, the water requirements and the rest of it. So technology is encompassing, like I said, and it can be managed both to suit the demand of the large-scale farmers as well as the small-scale farmers. I was in India and I saw a grader, locally fabricated. They are locally fabricated grader. It's not a complicated technology. It's just a rod that picks the fruits according to sizes. So it helps them without much technology involved, and also without so many other inputs, because some technologies can lead to extra cost on diesel, cost on some other little inputs. Is reduced because it's just a simple technology and it's efficient. And the guy told me they've been doing it for over 10 years. So technology depends on what you want to achieve, your pocket, what is your financial, what is your financial stand, and how urgent do you need that technology. You can do technology now in a backward or forward integration also. If you want to integrate your farm, if you're already in the process of agriculture and you started in a conventional way, now you can begin to modernize your process by looking at either forwardly integrating your process or backwardly integrating your process. And I will try to break it down. And it's encompassing. It covers all the field of agriculture. Let's look at livestock that I have played in more than 20 years now. Poultry, for instance. If you are into poultry and you have about, let's say you started with 1,000 birds and you begin to grow and you grew up to about 10,000 birds. Now you want to backwardly integrate your process to how you feed your birds. You now have to introduce the mini silo by the side of the poultry, so that you can feed your birds through the chain, the auger system, or the chain feeding system. So you now have to buy silos and the rest of it. And then that is going backwards. But forward now, after the birds have been, after they start production and they are giving you the egg, you might want to grade depending on your target market. So if you want to grade, you now have to buy your grader. You now have to buy your egg collector. And then you can also integrate forward to also collect your waste and use your waste to generate electricity for the farm, which is what we keep saying, what we keep advocating for. Because if you don't, you see, we need to start having mentality of how to make profit, how to generate profit, more profit, because every day our profit margin is shrinking. It's shrinking for so many other factors. Cost of input is becoming so expensive. You can imagine what a soya goes for now and a maize goes for. And we don't have the power to change some of those inputs. You can't change the prices of maize, for instance, is what the seller wants to sell. So, and also the same thing goes for maize. You can't change it. They are constant variables. They keep changing. So if they keep changing, what can you do in your process that can or will help you to reduce cost of production and also help you to generate more funds? And that was what brought me to the idea of the waste to energy. You can now forwardly integrate your process to the point that your waste also becomes an integral part of your profit generation on the farm. You harness your waste to a point, and then you go into an aerobic, they go into an aerobic digestion processes, and then you generate your electricity. You also generate your liquid fertilizer and your organic fertilizer as well. So you can imagine you have three elements coming out from forwardly integration in this process. And this technology are readily available. They are not rocket science. We just need to encourage our local engineers to also step up to the game. As regarding the situation in Nigeria now, we need to encourage them. Well, of course, they will always get it wrong at some point. But if you don't encourage them, you imagine when we newly started embracing Chinese cars, people were complaining. But if you look at what the Chinese are doing now, they now have luxury Chinese vehicles at the level of Rolls-Royce. It might not be up to standard of Rolls-Royce, but at least the technology is getting closer. So that's how we need to start. We need to go back to the basics. We need to look at the technology, and then we need now to look at how we can encourage our engineers to step up, and also our technicians. They have a role, the technique, because the engineers, the BSc engineers cannot, the B engine guys cannot be the fabricator and also be the designer and every other thing. So we need to go back, like what NEPA used to do in those days. When they employ people coming from technical school, they give them leveloses, they provide cars for them to encourage them, they provide houses for them, and then they are the ones that are really holding NEPA, because they are the ones on the field. They are the ones who understand. The engineers just tell them what to do. They already know what to do. So we need to go back into that in agriculture. And we can't leave that at the footstep of the government at all times. It's something that me and you need to now start going back. Like I said about a project that I did, that we incorporated 60%. We spoke to the Indians and we asked them, come, can you give us drawing for stirrers? They gave us drawing, they gave us the oscillation time and the rest of it. And we were able to do it. And it's still functioning up to today. So that is my own experience and my own picture of integration. And I believe that if we go that route, managing local technology with indigenous technology, Nigeria will be able to achieve a lot in feeding their people. Thank you for the time. Do I still have more time, Dolade?
Rume should be able to answer that.
Yes, we have just 5 minutes more. So I will believe that we can use that for Q&A for anybody who has questions that they would like to put across to you, sir, so that we will be able to. Yes, sir. So that's what we'll do.
I believe that with this little, because I also wanted to be as brief as possible, so I've been able to touch on some of these together. So, but if other things can come from the question and answer, where people can ask questions, and then I'll be able to shed more light into what I have said.
Okay, so first of all, I want to say a big thank you to Mr. Akinkumi. Thank you so much for that expose, and it really was deep. It has depth, and we deeply appreciate it. So right now, the floor is open for any of our participants who would like to ask a question. So for you to ask your question, you could just unmute and pose your questions in any of the areas you would like to draw Mr. Akinkumi's attention to for further explanation. So we'll give the floor to anyone who has questions that they would want to answer. Thank you so much. So if you want to ask a question, you can just go to the chat box, or you can just indicate by raising up your hand and we can see it, and we'll give you an opportunity to ask your question. And we would also be very grateful. Okay, while Mr. Akinkumi was discussing and sharing his thoughts, Hajia Aisha Ibrahim Bafa just came into the platform. Thank you so much, ma. We are grateful. Thank you so much. So we're still waiting for questions for any of our participants who has one or two questions that they would like to pose to Mr. Akinkumi.
Okay, you can always ask questions too if you are not if you are not getting.
He is raising his hand.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah, so Mr. Akinkumi, for me, my own question is basically as regards to local technology. how can we not just localize local technology in terms of agro-business development? How do we build sustainability, make it viable and sustainable? How do we do that?
Yeah. Go on.
Yeah, so that's because the truth is people are interested in agro business. People want to build large farms, want to go deep into it, but they cannot really afford foreign technological equipment. And you just gave a very insightful idea on localization of technology. So how do we do that so that the opportunities are open for everyone in that sector to be able to participate? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Ogene. You see, this is the challenge because the economy is changing. Yeah, and it's not only regarding Nigeria, every part of the world. So because the scene is changing, everybody needs to look inward. And what do I mean by inward? If you are doing something and you are doing it well, you are creating job for your home people, you are reducing criminality, you are also contributing. A lot of factors are involved around what you do and what you can do locally. So for it to be sustainable, we cannot be talking of sustainability now in Nigeria because we are really backward, because a lot of factors have been dead for over the years, like the issue of the technical school that I raised the other time. That is where you can raise. That is where the standard of your agric engineering can be raised. So, but because we don't have that like we used to have them in those days, but we still have good and local fabricators, and we still have good engineers who comes out from various higher institutions in Nigeria. So like I work on a daily basis with like 5 engineers. I work with civil engineers. I work with electrical engineers. Because we do a lot of design. But you see, you cannot rule out completely the impact of foreign technology because they will always take the lead. They will take the driver's side. But you can always come back inward once you have your design, like your cage, like even we cannot be talking like I was explaining to you. If you look at the tractor now, for instance, even our steel rolling mill are not efficient. They are not working the way they should work, or even not working at all. So you cannot be talking about tractors. So you still need tractors to come from abroad. You can get your local engineers to fix them, but it even depends on the level of tractors and machineries that you are buying. If you are buying an harvester now that is computer, internet driven, GPS driven, you cannot. You still need to depend 100% on foreign ideas to make it work efficiently. So now, but there are also some level of technology that can be done, that can be incorporated at our level. And we can start from there, those ones that we can do, and begin to grow with it over time. So I believe I've been able to answer your question.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You've done justice to it. And,
Alaji would like to ask question.
Oh, okay. Alaji. Okay, sir. Alhaji, you're mute, sir.
Okay. Am I okay?
Go ahead, sir.
Okay. Alhaji is not going to ask question, but he's going to comment on the wonderful presentation by the last speaker. Now,
thank you so much.
I am into technology, and therefore I understand fully what you're talking about. And local content is very, very important if we have to move not just agriculture, but the nation forward. And what happens is you said it all by fabricating and so on and so forth. And in our own case, I represent a company that manufactures greenhouses in China and Israel. So one of the things I told them to accept to be their representative and partner is that we must have at least 30 to 40% local content. And therefore, having done that, we are about to do that because everything we needed in most areas are available in Nigeria. So the next thing we are going to do, they have agreed to come into Nigeria and set up a factory here so that we can increase the content and therefore have technology transfer, which is very key to success. I'm also very happy with what you said about forward and backward integration. Now, forward and backward integration, all of them have their own advantages and disadvantages. And from the experiences I have seen in Nigeria, a lot of people go backward without necessarily understanding the whole thing. Therefore, that is why when we started on the basis of teaching, training, research, and development, collaborating with the universities, collaborating with technology partners like you. Very soon we'll collaborate with you, and then making sure that not only do we have the knowledge academically, we translate that knowledge into practice and therefore into products and into technology. And you can only achieve that if you collaborate. So collaboration is the key, and that's what we're going to do. And that's the whole essence also of this seminar. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Alaji. You see, when we have people like you on the driver's seat, I always believe that you give this country a lot of hope. You give us direction, and with the younger people that are coming behind you, we are encouraged by having you as a leader in this sector. Thank you so much for what you do, and I hope we can collaborate, like you said, to keep it up and to keep because even right now we don't have the option. What the university is teaching as regarding what they've been teaching since 1960 is what they are still teaching. So the only experience you gain them on the field. I remember when I newly came out from the university and I started job with avian specialties. When my boss asked me a lot of questions as regarding what is happening on the field, I don't understand. I come with a lot of textbook. If he's asking me a question, I want to go and look at textbook. And he made jest of me a lot of times, So we need to train our people practical aspect of agriculture, not just it's good to go to the university. This is the beautiful thing because it prepares your mind. But for you to also learn, you have to humble yourself. You have to put yourself under the tutelage and leadership of someone who is ahead of you. And then they can groom you and also let you have that practical skills they also have. So thank you so much, Alaji. You are doing beautiful in Nigeria. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you very much.
Last question. Kabiesi.
Okay, Kabiesi, go ahead, sir. Kabiesi, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you for your presentation, and it has been my eyes to a lot of things. My own question is that based on experience, in my place, we are largely small-scale farmers, and major challenge is finance. And when we are talking of modern technologies, we have said this, that modern technology cannot be concentrated on large-scale farmers alone without carrying along the small-scale farmers. Of experience, it's been difficult for small-scale farmers to access funding. So how can we bridge that gap with the current realities?
Good morning, sir. Sir, you see, financing issues worldwide. It is not peculiar to only Nigeria. And if you look at it generally, it's only the small-scale farmers that have always been left behind in this technology. But like I said, and like you said, sir, we all agree that technology is expensive. So if it's expensive, that means somebody who is holding a small scale cannot afford high-level technology. But there are technologies that they can afford at their own level. That's why, like Elijah said, we need to collaborate. Because my exposure might be different from yours. So if we collaborate and we that's why I thank people that organizes this kind of thing, because we can bring in a lot of ideas on the table and let the audience the kind of technology that they can also apply that is applicable to their level. Because technology depends. You cannot expect someone who is doing 1 acre of land to go and to be thinking of an harvester, for instance, or pivot irrigation. If you are going to be doing pivot irrigation, is expensive. We all agree. So if you want to do like pivot irrigation, land scale holding is very, very important. So your technology will, like the technology I told you I saw in India that does grading. It does the same thing the big technology does, but it does it in its own little way. So these are the kind of little technologies that we need to look at our own level and then appreciate it and then make our people to improve on it. If our people can start with those little technologies, then they can, and we begin to encourage them by giving them more jobs, they will begin to improve. And over time, they will also revolutionize into modern technology as well.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Alhaji, sir. Okay. Thank you very much. It's already showing that it's going to be a very eventful virtual conference. Everybody is already interested in the conversation. Now, this brings me to the point. They've already introduced it, but I was going to charge Alhaji.
To mute first. Sorry, Gurume. They have to mute, otherwise it will be coming back.
Okay. Can we all mute so that okay, yes, we are doing a great job. Okay. So like what I was saying, the conversation is already very interesting. And it brings me to the point where I have to charge Alhaji and Mrs. Loladi and Dr. Tony. Mr. Akinkumi made a very, very valid point as well as concern that our technical schools that tend to provide the manpower that we need, that we used in generations, not really generations, in those days. I think in the 60s, 70s, and 80s are no longer there. Then he also talked about our curriculum. Okay, that's an issue I have been talking about in the last 5 years. The last time we updated our educational curriculum was in 1976, April 1976. And you cannot use the same level of understanding, education, and knowledge to compete in the fourth industrial revolution. So we would like an opportunity whereby these things that we discuss here are taken, are driven, and we believe that's one of the reasons where Alhaji comes in to drive the opportunities where technical education and our educational curriculum can be revamped in this part. And also, Madam Aisha Abafa can also help us with that. So thank you very much. So without further ado, we'll go straight to our next speaker. So permit me to introduce our next speaker. Our next speaker is a student of Yaba College of Technology, Yaba, and also a lover of sport, a farmer, and a businessman. His experiences in both private and the public sector ranges from the Peja Palace Hotel in Lagos, the CAC Printing Press Limited in Agege, the Lagos Proofreaders, the Fairgate Marketing Communications in Oregun, the Ikeja Hotels, and he has been part of delegates of the Commonwealth CAPAN conference in Sydney, Australia, as well as London in United Kingdom, Bangkok in Thailand, Dubai in the UAE, and Paris in France. Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce Oba Sunday Olushayo Oyilewo JP. Thank you very much, sir. The floor is yours.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I want to appreciate everyone here, the organizers, Alaji, Engineer Akintumi, and every participant for organizing this important. And I pray that at the end of this discourse, we all have something to gain and be able to collaborate well in making agriculture in Africa, in taking agriculture in Africa to the next level. Having said that, I want to talk from my own personal experiences as a community leader and a farmer. In my community is called Elega Community. It is located in Oyo State, not too far from Ogbomoso. And when I became king, I tried as much as possible to improve their agriculture. And in the process, I discovered that a lot of things were wrong. They are all doing individual thing. You know, there are smallholder farmers in the community that they do their own things individually. And that individuality hasn't helped anybody. It's rather, it didn't allow for synergy, and that further deprived them of all other opportunities and benefits that they can get. So, based on this, I try as much as possible to bring them together as a cooperative in order to be able to have the advantage of improving their farm output. So in the process, we had contacts with Ocean Meat. We had contact with Ocean Meat. So we had contact with Ocean Meat, and we continue like that. But at some point, I explained to them what we have in our place, because a lot of things have been happening. People are requesting for things from out. So as a result of this, I told them everything we have in our community. And I want to tell this also, all that we have in our community. Our community is known for cashew nuts, is known for palm oil, and is known for cassava. So, and when we let people know what we have, we've started having some sort of demand for this thing. So I had to encourage our farmers to improve their productivity through cooperative. But we can only do what we can do. There are several other things that goes beyond our capability. That was what brought me about the question I asked Engineer Akin the other time. So we have done what we could, and we found out that to be able to improve our productivities, to be able to meet up with demands of these products, certain things has to be done. And some of the things that has to be done, I think my brother Engineer King have explained some of them, and Alhaji also have given some insight into into this, which I quite appreciate. So in my community, as I've said, we have cashew nuts in abundance. But the truth of it is that modern way of caring for these things to be able to bring further yield is not forthcoming. And also, we have done our research to the extent that so far we have put our people in cooperative. Anybody that wants to deal with us will come through our collaboration with Ocean Meat to the farmers directly through their cooperative. So we have done that, and we are waiting for other things to be put in place through the conjunction with whoever that want to have a part in it. Then secondly, we have several acres of palm plantation in our area, and there are demands for palm oil in some part of the world, and they come to us to get palm oil, particularly our meat that we have a cordial collaboration together. But most cases, in fact, we could not meet up with all their demands because they have market for it. We couldn't meet up with all their demands, and there is shortfall in production and supply. So at some point, I advised them that why can't we have some sort of a plant in a place to be able to refine this palm oil so far their market. So we are already on that, and we are making progress. Though, of course, as we have said, finance is the thing that is keeping us in for now. Then in addition to that, has gone beyond what they used to be as they used to do those things. That has become something that every sector of the economy, they need it, and even for food processing and all the rest. It is needed. At least we have capacity of producing it in large quantities, but that can also not be done because we are still using outdated to do our farming. And it's very difficult. Like engineering have said earlier, that our youth are no longer interested in owning the farm. They prefer writing order. And if that is happening, the focus are made in the rural community. We need some help in the area of modern technology, and some help in the area of this we enhance the production that will help in increasing our output. Side, and so on. How things are not really, affordable in the fact if we pick up with the demands of industries, we just have to increase our production capability. And if we have to increase our production capability, we need some sort of collaboration, some sort of support, from people all over. Yeah, I believe that can bring such collaboration in order to help our people in the community and to encourage them to continue in farming.
Hello, sir. The voice of this is cracking. I don't know. Maybe someone is unmuting. I don't know why. We can't really hear you, sir.
The network here is something else. But I just hope that you're hearing me now. Are you?
Yes, I can hear you, but it's cracking.
Yes. But when you are talking, I hear you very clearly. All
Can
the
hear you
things
now.
is anybody can. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Are you?
I want everyone themselves.
Okay, are you hearing me clearly now? Hello? Madam Ladi, are you hearing
It's
me?
still cracking. It's still cracking,
It's
sir.
still cracking, Ala. It's still cracking. Sir, let's go on a little break, and let's go on a little break and see if we can
Okay.
rectify this network. And so we'll attend to you privately.
Okay.
So let's see what happens.
Mm,
So, ladies and gentlemen, we'll go on a quick break to see if we can sort out KBAC's network challenge. We'll be right back. We'll be right back.
Lolade,
Yes, sir.
Haja had a bad network. Haja had a bad network and she's reconnecting.
Okay, sir.
So, ladies and gentlemen, while we do that, we will use this opportunity to appreciate all our partners, our sponsors, and for those, everybody who made the conference a success. That's exactly what we are doing right now.
hello. Yeah. Hello. Okay. Let me mute it there. Just hold on.
Right. KBS's line is really bad. So we are thinking of moving him to maybe later if he's able to sort out the network. So whilst we are doing that, I'll give it to Lume to continue with that.
Thank you very much. So grateful. This is what will have what is going to happen. We're going to go straight to our segment for brand and vendors showcase. This is as a result of the fact that two of our speakers are having a little bit of challenge with our network. KBAC is one, and Hajia is another. So we will move their segments to tomorrow. So right now we will take.
Okay, can Alaji was saying something, and what he was saying was it was very important, and then maybe I should make a contribution.
Okay, go ahead. Please do.
Yeah,
go
Alaji
ahead.
was saying that they, in his locality, they have organized themselves into a cooperative society. That is the way to go. And this is the answer to the first question Alaji asked earlier. What we need to do, if you have large number of small scale farmers, you can form yourself into an association or into a cooperative society. You see, that gives you the leverage of size. And you see, size matters in everything we do. Numbers. That's what China is capitalizing on to be able to expand their technological ability to the world. So if you are looking at collaboration, like Alaji said earlier, everything in life can be achieved if you come together. So the small fragments now become a whole chunk. For instance, if you come together as a cooperative society, you can access tractors and some other equipment that you need. You can also even go into PPP, collaboration with even government, where your local government can provide those tractors that you need. They can provide the land. So everything now is about collaboration. And that can always help the small scale farmers to access some of these things that they cannot also access. So that's my contribution. Thank you, Ogene.
Thank you very much. We're grateful for that contribution. So right about now, like I was saying, we will move our speakers for today, our last set of speakers, which is Hajia, Aisha Ibrahim Bafa, and KBAC. So tomorrow, so they will have their presentations tomorrow due to network challenges. So we will go straight now into brand showcase and vendors showcase. So that is what we will do now. We have used the break to appreciate and showcase our partners, sponsors, those who have joined us to make today's event possible. So we'll do that. So without further ado, we will first of all invite Funke from Ocean Meat to kick off with our brand presentation for today. Funke, the floor is yours.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Funke Kulajulu, General Manager, Ocean Meats. I will just tell a little brief. I'll briefly tell a history of Ocean Meats. Ocean Meats Company Limited, Nigeria, started with just the number of 4 or 5 people. We started at March 5th, 2018. We started at Orilemo, managing a cocoa farm. And based on the fact that our CEO is not in Nigeria, she's actually abroad, we started thinking of what we can do that will help us both in Nigeria and abroad. And then we went into exportation of soft dry foods. And just to list a little of our products, we started with palm oil, which we tested to know the quality of the one which we'll be exporting. And then we started with elubo issue, which is yam flour, plantain flour, elubo lafun, cassava flour, gario ijebu. And then we also started introducing organic products like turmeric, mango pepper, ginger. And then we also went into introduction of cashew. Now we actually just sent 2 of our cashew products out. We sent the roasted cashew, no, move on. The roasted cashew and then the white cashew, which lots of, we got positive response from our customers abroad. So it shows that yes, we're not actually doing bad, we're doing well. We also had to expand our tentacle by moving forward to exportation to US. And then we have a representative now in Dubai. So we're actually moving down to Dubai. But with a brief, presently Ocean Mint Nigeria is just going to be a sourcing company. We intend to source for Nigerian foods, Nigerian products that can be duly, that is highly appreciated abroad. And not just abroad, we want to actually go worldwide. We want to go into African countries and then also go overseas. So presently, we are actually just using this opportunity and this forum to ask for partners who will want to join us in their own product, and then just see how we can do wonderfully outside our own jurisdiction. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ocean Meat. Okay, I think that's a collection of their products.
Yes, those are our products. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay, so we're gonna be inviting. Okay, these are their products. Okay.
So you are talking now.